Hi, I'm Dave Pratt of Ranch Management Consultants. I run the Ranching for Profit School and the Executive Link. The Ranching for Profit School is based on a pretty simple notion, namely that knowing how to grow crops and raise livestock is different than knowing how to run a business that grows crops and raises livestock. They're two entirely different skill sets. We get invitations from all over the country to do workshops on various slices of the school. One of the most popular workshops is on cell grazing. There are some very good programs on grazing tactics out there, but there are also some that leave a lot to be desired. There's one I came across recently from a land-grant university, and they write in their course materials, 10 or more pastures are recommended per herd to create a high-intensity system. Well, not only is that terrible advice, but they spelled the word herd wrong. 10 pastures is not a high-intensity system. Any rotation with fewer than 8 to 10 paddocks isn't even rotational grazing. It's rotational overgrazing. So at least they got enough pastures to stop the overgrazing. But with 8 to 10 paddocks, you're not going to get good animal performance. We recommend 15 or 16 to get decent performance. Now, maybe if you have a dry cow in her second month of gestation on decent forage, maybe she'd do okay. But a lactating cow, or a cow in her last trimester where you're trying to put body condition on her so that we calve in decent condition, or if you're trying to get the hay out of an operation, well, good luck with 8 to 10 pastures. It's not going to happen. So we recommend at least 15 or 16 pastures to get decent animal performance. And if you really want to see rapid range improvement, we recommend 25 pastures or more per herd. Now that may seem like a lot of pastures until you consider the results. When I do a workshop, I don't do it alone. I bring a bunch of our alumni with me. I figure that their experience will speak volumes about the power of the tools we're going to talk about.
Of course, they can't always join us in person, so I bring them with me in video clips that we've shot on their ranches.
They will talk about how they've applied the principles that I'll introduce to you in the workshops, and they'll show the results that they've gotten. Many of them have doubled the carrying capacity of their ranches. Doubled the carrying capacity of the ranch. That's like getting a ranch for free, or getting a ranch for the cost of the fencing and the water development. If you can get a ranch for the cost of the fencing and water development, a brand new ranch for that, how could you afford not to do that? Now, we're called ranching for profit for a reason. Even when we're talking about graze periods and rest periods and stock density and stocking rate and carrying capacity and soil health and these other things, we're never very far away from looking at the impact it's having on overhead costs, on turnover, on the margin per unit, on cash flow, and the capital investment required to make these things happen. Now, we're going to caution you against spending a lot of money on infrastructure development. Cows are relatively low-value beasts, and the infrastructure development needs to pay for itself as we go. We're going to encourage you to apply a principle that we teach, and that's to get 100% return from the capital investments you make the year you make them, and we'll show you how to do it. We'll also caution you about building too much labor into your grazing program. These cows are supposed to be working for you. It's not supposed to be the other way around. Most people applying cell grazing find that it dramatically reduces the labor required to run the ranch. At the workshop, we'll also look at the life in the soil, or the lack thereof. And we'll talk about energy flow and the water cycle and how to get more water in the soil and hold it there so it's available for plant growth during the growing season. We'll look at tools for increasing forage quality and quantity without spending a cent on fertilizer or herbicide and without seeding. Join me at a cell grazing workshop to learn how our alumni have increased the carrying capacity of their ranches, improved forage quality, slashed costs, reduced labor, and dramatically increased profit. If you're interested in hosting a cell grazing workshop, just call or email. I hope we see you at a Ranching for Profit workshop in the near future.